If you guys are unaware, Quimera, man, this game is weird. This game is weird, bro. So, Quimera is a first-person shooter game that honestly looked like Crisis or pretty close to Crisis, right? It looked like an interesting game. I watched the trailer. I thought it looked good. I thought it looked different, and I was curious to try it out, right? So the game was supposed to release about a week or so ago. And on the day of release, out of nowhere, Quimera was delayed indefinitely with nobody telling you why. They didn't even make a statement as to why the game was delayed. The game just literally got delayed, and that was it. It was weird. Nobody knew why, right? So now we're here where apparently Quimera, which was delayed on release day, has just now suddenly been shadow dropped out of nowhere, and it is now officially released on Steam in early access. What the fuck is that about? I have no idea. So Reburn, formerly known as 4A Games Ukraine, has suddenly spun a 180 and released Quimera, a sci-fi shooter that was delayed on release day following a spat of negative reviews, including their own. It says the new release date has come as a surprise, and there was no real indication that Quimera was going to see the light of day, outside of a spontaneous decision to pivot to an early access model by Reburn on April 29th. So they went from full release model to now early access model. Something is wrong with this game, bro. Something is wrong with this game. I don't know what's going on with this game, but something is wrong. Something is sus about this game. And I think it's because people who left reviews on the game caught on to the fact that something was up with it, and they pulled it and then decided to re-release it as an early access game, probably for legal protections. I gotta imagine it's probably for legal protections. There are certain protections that come with releasing your game as early access versus releasing your game as a full release, and then people find out certain things about your game. Now, I've heard of some people saying that the game is only 3 hours long, which that would explain why people were probably leaving really bad reviews. Quimera now has been released on Steam in early access, which has a new concept announced by Reburn team on April 29. In a statement on Steam, they wrote the following. As many of you know, we didn't hit our window to launch last week due to technical hurdles, which impacted our ability to get the game live. While we initially strove for a quick resolution, the situation required more time and care than we anticipated. We intended to keep communications clear, but also chose to wait it out until we had an update to share. But waiting it out caused more misunderstandings. We've been focused on working through how to get the game live. Bro, how do you not know how to get the game live, bro? That is not a good sign. That is not a good sign. Something is very wrong with this game. You don't know how to get the game live? You have technical issues? They're like, what's going on? Reburn has promised to expand and evolve Quimera, but given the nature of the release debacle, it's unlikely many people will be there to follow that expansion. In a new press release, Dmytro Limar said the following. Though this wasn't our original plan as Ukrainian game developers, we're very familiar with perseverance in the face of... Here we go. Here we go with the, we're Ukrainian and we know what it's like to face adversity and all that. So we are persevering through. Shut the fuck up, bro. Shut the fuck. You don't even know how to release your goddamn game, bro. What the fuck is this, man? Oh my God. We're very familiar with the perseverance in the face of tough choices and tougher odds. Our goal is to deliver a new experience that fans of our past work have come to expect now and through future updates. Thank you again to all our supporters, bro. This game, this is, what's the word I'm looking for? This is so fucking sus, bro. This game needs to be investigated. This is so sus, bro. I'm telling you, something is very off with this game. It's a relatively run-of-the-mill shooter with dated visuals that offer little in the way of innovation. You know what I'm gonna do? Hold on, I'm gonna bring up. Let's go to the Steam page. Oh, Steam. This is why I love Steam, because Steam will give you all the information, right? Unlike Epic Games Launcher. Oh my God, Locky Meta is only $30, bro. Locky Meta is only $30, bro. What? That's crazy. Seriously? Locky Meta is only $30. Definitely sounds a little sussy-wussy for sure. For sure. All right, I'm going to bring it up. So, really quick, if you look at the Steam page, this game is getting slammed. Slammed, okay? It's only got 36 reviews right now. 36 reviews. And it's mostly negative. Almost all negative. Negative. People are not happy. They are clearly not happy. But before we read that, let's go over to the Steam forums, because that's more important. Okay. Let's look at the Steam forums really quick. So please offer offline play. Is this woke? I think that's the least of your concerns. Seriously. Is that a serious question? No, that's not. That can't be a serious question. No. Gameplay? Graphism? Nope. Tell me if it's woke. You got baited, bro. Obvious troll is obvious. Is this game legitimately only a couple of hours long? It's only a couple hours long, but it's also early access, which means the game isn't complete. See, that's what they're hoping for. That is what they're hoping for right there. By releasing the game in early access instead of releasing the game as a full game, now all of a sudden, your shitty game has every excuse to be shitty. Do you see what I'm saying? So the game is only a couple of hours long, and now you got people like this defending it like, well, it's only early access, so it's okay. This game was supposed to be a full release. It was supposed to be a full release, not early access. They said they couldn't release their game because of technical issues. What's the technical issue? Can they not upload the other 15 hours of the game? What's missing? Bro, the game was never completed. That's really what it is. The game was never completed. They sold you a lie about how the game was completed, realized that they couldn't get away with it, and then decided to release the game early access with some sob story about being Ukrainian in order to continue to get the money. And then the game is going to stay in early access forever. It's never going to leave early access. There's no word on how much more they plan to add before the game is released, because they're not going to add anything. I'm not going to praise the game myself, but I would like to point out that the majority of the complaints seem to forget that early access means the game isn't finished, so they may be judging it before it's even had all it. Bro, do you know what this game was supposed to be, Kuno Vega? Do you realize that this game was supposed to be a full release? That's why nobody replied to you. I'm not even going to bother, bro. It's fucking... Again, good job, Debs. What? What's this? There were defenders of this parody of the game in the comments. The developers conducted a closed playtest and did not draw any conclusions, releasing this raw piece of code instead of making a normal game. Well done. No offense, but I hope your company closes. Oof. Oof. People are catching on, bro. People are catching on. Let's see what else. Why would anybody buy this? I don't usually make posts like this, and I was excited to try this out. But why the hell would anyone pay any amount of money for this after the last minute early access switch? This is coming from someone who was spreading the word about this shit game because I thought it was a smaller passion project. Apparently not. Seriously? Shady as hell and ridiculous. This is, I'm telling you, bro. What's happening with this game is 100% sus. Super sus. Super sus. This game was supposed to release as a full release, and it did not. And now it's early access. That is super sus. Even IGN can't lie about this game, bro. Even IGN can't lie about this game. They gave it a 4 out of 10. Probably worse than that, to be honest with you. They're like, yeah, listen, the game's a 1 out of 10, but we gave it 3 points because they're Ukrainians. They're Ukrainians. That's why we gave it a 3-point boost. Well, this is actually a good thing because IGN usually gives good games bad scores and horrible games sevens and higher, no matter how bad. I stopped trusting IGN reviews like 5 years ago. Heck, even usually the gameplay looks like it's someone who never even plays video games. It's true. It's true. What they do is they get video game clips from the actual developers. They get clips to use in their reviews, but it's never them actually playing the game. Like 9 times out of 10. You ever watch a review from one of these journalists and realize that they never show the name of their characters or anything? Because to be quite frank, they don't have a character. Don't you find that to be very interesting? This person said, I mean, the game is made in Ukraine. What the hell did you expect? A masterpiece? Oh, nice. I don't care about reviews. If I like what I see, I play it. And so far, everything I've seen has been pretty good. Oh, you're in for a world of hurt. What I got is to play was fun. To be fair, Stalker 2 was made in Ukraine as well and had its problems, but being too short isn't one of them. Stop posting their site and let them die already. True. IGN ratings are pure shit. It's interesting how there are some people that are defending this game. I do find that to be very interesting because it is pretty clear that this is highly sus. So maybe the game is fun for those people. I don't really know. Maybe maybe for $30, they thought that, 2 hours of gameplay was worth it. I don't know. Depends on the person. But it's very clear that people have caught on in their forums. Oh, you think they're a Ukraine shill? Maybe. Proactive feedback. Let's see. Dear devs, I hope you're keeping well, that you read this and what you do, take it as friendly feedback as opposed to me trying to snipe at you. Quimera is now an interesting position. Game was supposed to release Friday. Release time passed. Then at 2038, an update was shared as you were working on Steam issues to get the game released. And since then, we have not heard a peep. So over 2 days, almost 3 now, since last comms and the game is supposed to be out, isn't. You see how they said that initially they were working on Steam issues to get the game released? Bro, they blamed Steam as for why the game couldn't be released. If I was Steam, I would fucking handle that real quick. Because you're blaming Steam for your lie? Bro, you blame Steam for why the game wasn't allowed to be released or wasn't releasing, and then you come around and you release it as an early access game at the last second, proving that you never actually wanted to release this game to begin with. You spun this entire bullshit narrative about Steam not allowing you to, but it was you the whole time. I work in tech support, so I have a bit of insight on communication of releases. My take is fairly straightforward. It takes less than a minute to communicate with your potential consumers as to what is going on. And since it is an entertainment medium, the weekend is one of the most entertainment-heavy times of the week, if not the most. So a release that never happened with no comms during the time is really less than ideal. I understand valuing your weekend, but you only release a game once. I want the team and the company to keep creating great games. The Metro series is one of my favorite, and I hope they keep creating great content. I really want this game to be amazing. So below, I have some questions. Just actionable feedback, communications. Silence is a confidence killer, true. Social media channels are disconnected. Instagram, Blue Sky, and Discord should all be pointing to one another and have resources for the game, but they don't. This person responds, it's a lost cause. Oh, wait, Reburn responded. Hold on. The developer responded. Here we go. This is interesting. Thank you very much for your thoughtful and constructive feedback. We really appreciate you taking the time to write this out. First of all, we fully agree with your main point. Silence is a confidence killer. We should have communicated more frequently during these past days, even if there were no updates to share yet. That was our mistake, and we take it seriously. We were probably focusing too much on the game itself, letting other things slip. We are now working to improve communications. Self-publishing is new to us. In the past, we always work with publishers who handle the release process and communications. Choosing to self-publish was not our original plan. It was a decision we had to make later on due to changing circumstances. We are still adapting to the many new challenges that come with publishing and launching a game independently. We are learning quickly and taking all of this to heart. As for social media, thank you for pointing this out. We will make better linking and synchronizing of our Discord, Steam page, website, and other channels to make sure information flows more clearly for everyone. In terms of game preparation, there are also lessons to be learned. While we did internal and private testing, the combination of tight timelines and unexpected technical hurdles unrelated to the game showed us areas where we need to do better next time. Thank you. I smell bullshit. I smell absolute corporate PR bullshit. They 100% did not have a game that was ready to release, not even close. And they realized that if they were to release this game as a full release, they are opening themselves up to massive legal issues. So they decided to release the game as an early access game, thus legally protecting themselves, at least at the bare minimum, and still taking people's money. That is my assumption on the situation. I could be wrong, but that's how it looks. So overall, La Quimera is a huge mess. What a disappointment. Because I really thought the game looked pretty decent in trailers, and now all of this is going down. I'm not even going to look this game's way. Bro. This game, for me, never existed. It's out of my mind, which really sad. Because you guys are the ones that sent me the trailer. You guys recommended it to me, and I was like, you know what? That looks pretty decent. Not anymore. Lanka Cora. It is Concord, yeah. Exactly. So anyway, that's basically it for La Quimera. I guess we'll find out if anything else, comes to fruition. I highly doubt it personally. And I don't expect things to get better. I don't know about you guys, but I really don't expect it to get better. So